Hello, you 5Ders. How are you doing today in this 3D world? Today I'm talking about Mark Steele, and I'm talking about where we are now according to the Emissaries. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I don't know if you watched any of the Mark Steele interview that I did. What I'm aware of is that on this particular channel, those videos didn't get a tremendous amount of views. And I understand why. The main reason is that Mark's message is very focused on wake up to what's happening. And people who are on this channel typically have already woken up. So it's like, we know that. We know what's happening. And we're focused on other things. We've talked about this before. You know, the journey is without, and then it's within, and then it's back to God. And so, of course, we don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear it. We are, you know, it's preaching to the converted, isn't it? Singing to the choir. We already know all of that. But lots of people don't. Lots of people are in the process of waking up and need information like that. I mean, it's interesting. My sister-in-law, her husband has a Tesla and they have a little baby. And every time I watch them get into the car, I think, oh, God. And I just know that it's not worth saying it to them because they're just not open to that. And I've learned to shut the fuck up. However, my sister-in-law has just announced that she loves electric cars, and so she's going to sell her diesel Mini and get an electric car. Lots of people don't know about this. And so, although we might think, and rightly so in the place that we're at, that Mark's message is very doom and gloom. I think somebody put that in one of the messages. Mark's message is very doom and gloom, isn't it? However, it is to us, but for other people it might be life-saving. And I asked, just ran it by the Emissaries, what do you think about this? You know, Mark's message is not your message. And they said, absolutely not. They're two very, very different things. But they said people like Mark are the people that are bursting the banks of this unreality. They're the people that have chosen the warrior path. And they said that those people, for us, should be supported. We should support them. We should thank them for the work that they're doing. And Mark, for example, Mark Steele, he has put himself in situations that the vast majority of us would never dream of doing. He's put himself in the spotlight. He's taken counsels to court over things. I mean, it's, you know, you can tell when you listen to him, boy, does he know his stuff. But he's put himself in the spotlight. He doesn't care. And you know, it reminds me of a meme that I saw just the other day. I think I shared it in our Peaceful Rebellion Telegram group. By the way, if you want to join our Telegram group, there it is, Peaceful Rebellion. You've got to be a nice person, but the link's in the video information. So this meme that I saw said this: when I was young, I would walk into a room filled with people and hope that they liked me. And now I walk into a room of people and hope that I like them. And that is so true. You know, just on a personal experience, like people I always think, please God, don't let them be woke, because I just can't with the wokies. Just can't manage it. Well, Mark is that. He doesn't give a shit about what people think. He's got a job to do. He's been given a job, and you know, he mentioned in the interview that he knows that this is a divine calling that he has. This is what the emissary said, that these people have chosen the warrior path and we need to support them. But they said, don't think that everybody has to be a warrior. They said, in fact, if everybody was a warrior, there would be chaos. It would be chaos. They said, but those people, they're the ones that are showing the way. They're the ones that are waking people up. And when people do wake up, It's that kind of information that they want. They don't want to hear our airy-fairy 5D and everything's going to be lovely and the split and oh my God, I'm downloading stuff. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear the practical stuff. They want to hear Mark stuff. They want to hear the words of the warriors. Warning. There you are. Alliteration. The words of the warriors. Warning. And then, when they've done all of that bit of work, then they can come to our group and go, yeah, I like that now. Yeah, now then they'll be ready for the spiritual, more spiritual aspect. So there you are. And now, the emissaries tell us where we are, which was my question. Where are we in this wonderful split, great awakening, don't know what to call it now? And the emissaries said, we are in a period of mass confusion. Well, knock me over with a feather. Yeah, mass confusion. And that nobody really knows where we are and what's happening. And they said that the house of cards is falling in a dramatic way. And that people are seeing that this is nothing more than a house of cards. And so as they look around, they realize that this has no depth. There's no depth to this. This is shallow, shallow stuff. It's a fantasy. It's a fairy story. And that's what people are starting to see. That, you know, they're starting to hear key players saying the whole world is a psyop. That everything is fake and gay, as Candace Owen says. And they said that this is causing them tremendous confusion because they don't know what they mean. They don't know what they're talking about. They're aware that there's something seriously awry with this world and this matrix. And even when they hear the word matrix, they don't know what are we talking about. We've had tons of time to assimilate these things. We've had tons of time to think about everything being a virtual reality, that it's not real. We've had time to ponder it, whether we believe it or not, the concept we understand. Imagine that being landed on you and you've just come out of work doing a 10-hour shift from Tesco's or from the supermarket. And somebody says, yeah, this is a virtual reality, you know. And you say, go and do the 10 hours that I just did there and tell me then if this is not real. And so when they hear all of this from key people that are saying it, that, you know, Tucker Carlson saying that this is a battle between good and evil, and that the you know, kind of in a biblical way. And the emissaries say that this is causing mass confusion. This is where we are. But as they reminded me, confusion is good. And the reason that confusion is good is that after confusion comes clarity. Typically. It could take a while, but it does. That's the idea. We're thrown into confusion. We're given some information. We're thrown into confusion, and then our minds work to produce clarity. It's part of the process that we have. So confusion is great because we know that clarity will come afterwards. And so all of this confusion is creating tremendous upheaval. And the emissaries were very specific about this. In the people who were in the waking up process, there's tremendous upheaval. They don't know what to know. They don't know what to believe. The emissary said, in the sleeping world, there is no problem. Everybody's calm and tranquil, and yeah, we know what's happening. For them, everything's clear. It's for the people who are waking up, the people who were seeing the emperor without the clothes and saying, why is the emperor walking around with no clothes? What the fuck is going on? And it's because we're seeing behind the veil. Now, as has been said by the emissaries, we were in a darkened room, we were blindfolded, and now all the lights are on, and we're seeing behind the veil, and we're seeing behind the curtain, which is this little fat man pulling levers, desperately trying to make us scared of the beast. And just imagine, for us, it's completely, for the people who are awake, completely and utterly confusing. We don't know what the hell, and I certainly don't know what the hell is going on. Can't keep up with it. Don't want to. I don't want to keep up with it. Enough. And imagine for somebody who's just waking up, imagine what they must be going through. It's incredible. my heart goes out to them. And so the emissary said that all over we have many, many people chasing shadows, running after shadows, thinking that that's the way. And their final bit of advice in this is, don't chase the shadows. Nothing is meant to make sense. That's not the purpose of it. This matrix wasn't put together to make sense when you actually look at the nuts and bolts of it. It was only designed to be kind of like a container that holds us, and we project onto it what it is that we think is happening based on all of the propaganda and the hypnosis that we're being given. That's the idea of this. This matrix was never meant to be scrutinized. Or maybe it is, you scrutinize it when you realize that it's not real. When you think it's real, you don't scrutinize it. You don't look into the corners. And so everything looks fine. And the emperor is beautifully clothed. And then you wake up, the clothes drop off, and you start looking, you go, but this doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody stand in front of a crowd naked, thinking that they had clothes on? And that's where we are. Why would these things happen? I mean, I'm following the Candace Owen videos. As it goes on with the Charlie Kirk situation, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and involving more and more and more. And I just know that this situation involves the entire network, the entire matrix of this process that we're in. For whatever reason, whatever that means, I don't know. But it's just so big. It's like everything is co-joined. Everything is working as one because it was designed that way. To work as one, to make things happen to us, to take us to where we have to go. And, and that's as much as I need to know. I don't want to know anymore. The details, well, the devil's in the details, is he not? And I think I'd just like to look at the overall. Let's have a look at the big picture. What do you think? Do you understand what's going on? Are you pretty much up to speed with what's going on? Because I'm not. But I'd like to know. Put it in the comments. I love you all and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.